Welcome to the Social Stack, your go-to channel to learn about real estate marketing based in technology. I'm Amy Stack, and today we're going to cover how to create and send bulk emails inside Keller Williams Commands portal. Before we get started, if this is your first time here and you want to learn more about marketing and social media for your real estate business, start now by subscribing to my channel. Go ahead and click the subscribe button and then that red bell icon to receive new content notifications. All right, let's get marketing. If you guys haven't heard, email templates got an upgrade a few weeks ago, and we now have access to templates from KWRI and the ability to create our own templates through the Designs applet inside Command. Then you can take those templates to send bulk emails to your target audience using tags that you've already assigned to your contacts. And you now have the ability to add those emails that you've created into smart plans so you can get them automatically sent to people depending on what your goal is for them. I mentioned a little earlier, we do have a ton of content to cover today, so I want to ask everybody to please hold questions during the tutorial parts until prompted for a Q&A, and I want you to watch versus following along so you don't miss anything. And then, like I said, we're going to go a little quick because there's so much to go over, but my goal is to show you a whole array of things that you can do. So at the end, we'll have some Q&A, and then as a reminder, we're being recorded, so this will be up on my YouTube channel, so you can go back and rewatch in the future, and that is youtube.com/thesocialstack. And additionally, next week, same time, next Wednesday, 1 o'clock is Ask Amy, and our topic that week is going to be specifically about these emails, so you'll have a whole week to play around, test things out, and implement, collect all of those questions and bring them back next week so we can do a full hour of Q&A specifically on the emails inside Command. Sound good? All right, then this is my plan to cover with you today. Assuming we can get to all of it. This is the first time I've done this class because it's a new feature, so I hope I didn't try to pack too much in. We're going to talk about how to find the Keller Williams templates that are already provided to you, how to edit those templates, how to create your own custom templates, how to preview and test emails, how to send a bulk email, and then how to add templates that you've created into smart plans. So we got a lot on our plates today. Are you guys ready to dive in? Yes, good. I see thumbs up. I love it. All right, let me pull up Command and share my screen, and we'll get rolling. I have 2 monitors today, you guys, so I don't have to keep moving my Zoom screen all over the place. Aren't you proud of me? Kim's clapping. All right, let me share my screen here. Command. All right, so all I've done so far is just logged into Command. This is the login screen, the dashboard. If you guys have ever been in, this will look familiar. All right, so let's start with how do we find the templates that are already provided for you. Most of what we're doing today, at least the first half of the class, will all be inside the Designs applet. So just come on down to this little icon here, tap on Designs. I have a loud bracelet on, so I'm going to take that off. And your designs will load. Everybody's screen here will look a little different because this is going to show you what designs you've already worked on. And what we want to do is actually go to the big plus sign on the bottom and then click that and then tap email. So that will bring us to all the email templates. And then next. And you can see this took us right into this section labeled KWRI templates. So we can scroll through here and see that there's a bunch. There's actually 41 templates in there, so you can load more. And they all have names. So here's a classic style buy versus rent, classic seller lead conversion. So you can see that they're kind of categorized together. So my suggestion to you is to pick which type of layout you like and stick with that. So all of these ones labeled as classic will match each other. And then if we go to load more, I believe, so there's one that's called approachable. I believe there's one that's modern is another set of templates. So you'll see a modern featured homes, a classic featured homes, and an approachable featured home. So they're all gonna have the same content, they're just gonna have a different feel. So poke around, see what feel you like best, what matches your company branding, and just stick within that, that category of templates if you're using the ones that are designed by International. So let's go ahead and open one of those up. I don't know which one we want to do today. Let's go with the buy versus rent. I haven't looked at this one yet. So we'll see what they got for us. All right. So if you guys have poked around inside Command with any other designs, whether it's the actual, like the websites or the landing pages, anything like that, this is set up in a very similar way. So on the left-hand side, we'll see a little preview of everything, and on the right-hand side is how we do our actual editing. There's also a button right here. If you guys see where I'm wiggling my mouse, it looks like an eyeball. That's going to show you a preview of the email, so what the public would see. You can also tap that options button and there'll be a preview there as well. So this is a preview of the email. I haven't done anything to this. This is all put together for you already. All of this information here and at the top is going to feed right in from your marketing profile. So it's really important that you have that filled out. Otherwise, this stuff will be blank in there. But you can see that all that text is in there. We don't have a whole bunch of, dotted line boxes and everything. We don't have all of that in the template that we would actually be sending out to the world. However, we do have the ability to update this. So if this doesn't sound exactly, it's not your tone of voice or anything, you can tap on it and then click the little pencil and the editor will come up on the right-hand side and you can edit the text. So you can edit if you want to change what it says or if you want to change the font or the size. That's really big. We'll put it back. You have your bold, italics, underline, all that good stuff. You can change the colors. Right now, the color palette, what we've noticed is that it's just the ones that are on here. So hopefully we'll be able to get some hex codes so you can do color coding in the future. But for right now, there's plenty of options right there. You can play with the centering of the text, bullet points, if you want to do indents or anything like that, and you can actually add a live link. So this is very similar to even Word, that type of thing. You can do this stuff in your email, body of an email right now inside Gmail as well. What's really cool is that we have this merge field up here. So you can see right now it says agent first name. If I tap on it, I have a whole bunch of options. So if I want to feed any of this information in, for example, contact first name, I just tap on that, and then that just happened to be where my cursor was. So let's go back. I'm going to delete that. We're going to hit enter. I know I'm just putting this in the middle of the email. I just want you to see how that works. If I hit contact first name, I can put hi in front of it and a comma after it. So what that will do is pull whoever you're sending this email to, it's going to pull their first name in right there. So it'll look like it's a custom email that you sent specifically to them. And then what you want to do is hit done, and you'll see all your changes on the left-hand side. And then I highly recommend you hit save. Every time I hit done, I also hit save. I just make that a habit to make sure I don't lose anything. And you can see that my changes have taken place over here. And I can tap the eyeball again and see what it would look like in my customer's email. Obviously, this would have their information in it. Now, I don't really want it to look like that, but I wanted you to show you guys how you could do all those changes. And under options here, you see we have a couple. One is download a template, and one is send a test email. So I'm going to download a template, and this will just open it up in a browser for you. Right, so it's just a different view. And then you can send a test email. So I always recommend whenever you're doing emails like this, go ahead and send one to yourself. And then you'll get to see it before you send it out to the whole world, right? I'm just going to hit save on that, and then I'm going to hit save and exit. And that is using a template that's already prepared for you inside Command. Now, if you want to start from scratch, you do the same thing with the blue plus sign, go to email and hit next. And instead of clicking on one of these that's already here, all you have to do is tap this blue create new template button. And then you'll name it whatever you want to call it. And just like we do in the websites and the landing pages, we have the widgets on the right, and you can drag and drop them over to the left. So let's say we probably always want our header. So I'm just going to click, drag over, and wherever the green bar pops up is where your template's going to populate. Your widget will drop right in place there. And then what else do we want? Maybe I want to put an image at the top. And you can see I didn't click anything. All I did was drop that image option in there. And this is already, I've already been playing around, so I had some loaded in there. If you didn't have any images, you could just hit this add image button and browse your computer. Let's use, oh, I thought I didn't click on it. That's all right. Let's use one that I already have in there. I'm just going to tap this command one, and you can see it's selected there, and I can just hit save. And now it's popped right into my template. And I can hit edit on that. And I do have a few options. If I want to link that picture to something, I can type in a link, copy and paste a link right in here if it's inside my command portal already, or a tag. So you see a merge tag. And then I can also play around with the sizing of the image. So maybe I don't want it to be quite as wide. Just hit done and see how now the image got a little bit smaller. But I did like that, so I'm going to put it back to 750. I think that's what it was. Whoops. There we go. So now it's the full width of my email. Same thing with text box. Just click, drag, and drop. Boom, there it is. Hit your little pencil, and it'll open up the same editor that we saw that we had access to with the other, with the templated emails. So again, I can change, you know, what font I want. Let's make it really big. This is gonna be kind of like a header on the email, and let's go ahead and center it. And we'll just hit done. And there it popped right over to the left-hand side. So you can see how I can start to build in anything that I want to here. I'm going to add my footer. So we have a legal footer. So let's put that at the bottom. Again, just watch where that green line is going, and that's where your widget will populate. You can see we've got some nice ones in here. Here's a listing block. So if you want to add a featured listing, let's see that pop in. Just like anywhere else on command, you can search by the property address. Does anybody have an address they want me to look up? If not, I'll just click one of these. Nope. All right. I'm just going to, I guess we'll tap this one in Iowa City. Oh, there's not a lot of images in here. Let's look up our zip code, see if anything comes up. Here we go. This property has some pictures. So you can see it all feeds right in from the MLS. And let's say I want to use this guy here. I just tap on the image I want, hit select. You can see there's a couple of other formatting things you can play around with. If you need to update the stats, you can. And if you want to, again, link it to something like a landing page inside command, you can just select that option. Just going to tap done, and you'll see on the left in a minute. So the image should populate. There we go. Pops right in there as well. So that's what the listing looks like. Here's an event block. So this one's really good if you wanted to do like open houses, or you're doing a client appreciation event or something around the holidays. You can see it's all formatted already to put your picture in, your date and time, your title, a description, and you can link it to something. So if you're using Eventbrite, or you have a Google form or something you're capturing information with, you can edit all of these different information pieces. So you can edit what the button says. You can change the color of the button. You can say you want rounded corners instead of square corners, change the size of it, and you can even change the position of it. There's lots of different things you can do. And then of course, where you want it to go. So if you want to put in your own web address, you just put web address and then copy and paste the link in there. And that'll be the same for any of the links on the websites. I mean, the emails. Let's go ahead and hit done. We'll hit save once that loads. All right. So you can see there's some options to embed a video, to do a market snap. So they all work the same way. I just wanted you guys to kind of get a feel for how that works. So let's go ahead and take a preview look at that again. And you can see now all those dotted lines and everything are gone. I didn't load in the image, that's why that's blank. Obviously we didn't customize any of that. But that's how that works. So you can make your own from scratch if you want to. I'm gonna go ahead and hit save and exit on that. And we're gonna go back in one more time because I want to show you something that you might actually use today. They have loaded in some holiday designs. Oh, something else I should point out is that at the top we have where it always takes us into the international designs, but if you click my design templates, this will be anything that you've already worked on. So anything you've touched and edited will show up in my designs. And you can see right here, I've already worked on a Thanksgiving one. And this was a KWRI template. So if you look through those templates, you'll see some of those holiday ones. I'm just gonna tap on it and hit next to open it. And look at that. It's got a fun little Thanksgiving image in there. It's got the merge field in there already and a nice little message to your clients. And it's prompting people to download your app. So if anybody was on Nick's class this morning, now you know why you should be using that. I'm just gonna go ahead and hit save. Now, before I go to the next step, does anybody have any questions about how this editor works, how to get there, any of that stuff? Pretty plug and play, right? Yeah, go ahead.
I have a question. I've been working with the emails and I've had issues with images. So I don't know if it's my internet or because yours, when you pulled up the listing, you can see the images. When I pull up the listing, it's not showing me and I kind of have to guess. And then it's only when I send myself a test email that the image shows up.
Have you cleared your cookies recently?
The problem is every time I clear my cookies, it clears all my passwords and stuff.
So you need to uncheck the box. So when you go to clear your cookies, you're going into the advanced settings. You can do basic if you want to, or you can go into advanced and uncheck the password box, and then it won't delete the passwords.
Well, not the passwords, but there's certain things that I work with that I have to get authority, get stuff re-emailed to me, which is a pain. So let me just back up then. So should I always be working in incognito?
I was just gonna say you can try incognito. That's where I am too. So if you guys noticed I have a black browser up here, that's because I'm in an incognito browser. You can see right here. And then so that might help with that for you too.
One other question, because earlier, like 2 weeks ago, KWLS listings the pictures weren't feeding. So people suggested loading in the pictures from a file. A lot of mine, when I try to do that, it tells me the file's too big. The picture's too big. Is there a way
so you're probably using high-res photos?
Yeah, I'm using whatever professional photos I was given.
So there's some free websites out there. If you just look for like image compressor on Google, you'll be able to find some websites that will compress the file size for you. Okay. Also, that thing that you mentioned with the images not loading in, I believe that has been fixed by International, and it was a glitch inside Chrome. So if people were using, Safari or Firefox or something instead, they were loading in then. Okay. But Chrome is the best website or the best browser to use. It just happened to have a glitch for a couple of weeks with the pulling in the images.
Yeah, I'll try it with incognito so that I can see the images that I'm selecting, because it's like a little widget or whatever.
And then I see in the chat, April asked for some more information on merge tags. So if you guys can see on my screen right here where it says, oops, I didn't mean to do that, sorry. Oh no, I think I moved the whole thing. That's okay. You can see it says contact first name and contact first name again. So wherever you drop those merge tags, that information that is listed in the tag is what will pull in from your contact into the body of the email. So instead of it saying, I'm so thankful for you, contact first name, it'll say, I'm so thankful for you, April, and hope that your Thanksgiving holiday is filled with love and laughter. So that's how those merge fields work. So let's open this text box really quick. And you can see there's a whole list of different things you can pull right in there.
Okay, perfect.
Did that help?
Yeah.
Awesome. And then Amanda asked, will there be a pre-made template for newsletters? I'm not sure what they're working on right now as far as coming out, like what templates they're designing. I know that that's a really popular question. So I could see them doing something. It would be something that you would probably have to populate, like maybe they'd have a spot for you to drop your stats in and like an event block or something, but there's nothing currently out there that's specifically a newsletter template. So I'm just going to hit exit because I actually don't want to save those changes. So I'm going to hit the X here and not save what I changed. And it took us right back into designs. And if you ever want to see anything that you've worked on recently in the emails, just tap that email at the top. And these are all the emails I've touched recently. So that's another way to get into them, to edit them. Quick question, can you edit the picture in the legal header? No. So that is for compliance, good question. The legal header, if you edit your marketing profile, that's what would edit the legal header. So let's open up that Thanksgiving one again. So what Kim is asking is if we can edit this right here, or I should drop this in, I suppose. There we go. So these images at the top here and this one that says market center name, that's all pulling from your marketing profile. So if you want those to be different images, you'll have to update your profile. And then you can make one and add. Michael said you can make one and add as a pic. Oh yeah, that's a good point. So you could make your own header in a design in Command or on Canva, you know, wherever you like making your designs. And instead of using this widget, you could just load in this image button and drop your custom made header into the image field. That's a great idea, Michael. And yes, I did not answer that question. The question was, is there an unsubscribe button? And yes, you don't see it on here, but when the email sends, so if you send yourself a test email, you should see it. When the email goes out, there will be an unsubscribe button, so you don't have to worry about programming all that stuff in. So let's go ahead and delete this. And we'll save and exit. And now let's talk about how to send the emails. All right, it's loading. Got a lot running on my computer right now. Sorry about that. There we go. Okay, so once you have your email created, you need to know how to send it out to your world. To do that, we're actually going to go into a different applet. We're going into the campaigns one. So it looks like a little megaphone on the left-hand side. So you're going to tap that. And that's fine. I didn't make any changes. This will open up our campaign options. So this is where you can get into Facebook campaigns. You can do your paid ads in Instagram and Facebook, direct mail, all that kind of good stuff. So if I tap emails, this will show us what we've already set up. So let's actually start with creating a new one. So first you're going to hit that big blue button in the top right, create a new campaign. And when it loads, there we go. We will choose email. That's what we're working on today. Just like any other campaigns, you're going to title it. And this is just for you to see. The public won't see that. And choose your goal of that campaign. So let's do other. And if you're using MailChimp, you do have the option here to feed in. Today we're going over specifically command mail. So we're just going to leave that little bullet checked off there and then hit set up campaign. And here is all of our setup information for who we want to send this email to. And you can see you have a option to send from. So this will have to be programmed again into your marketing profile. Your send to list, your recipient list. So you can create a list, but with this create list button right here. And it's gonna have access to all of your contacts. So you can search by a name. You can search by their email or neighborhoods if you want to send it that way. And you can search by tags. So all of the tags you have in your account will show up here. You can see we have a lot in our demo account. Let me just tap KWPP agent. And it will let you load in, I think it shows 100 at a time. And then if you hit load more, you get all the rest of the agents. So we have, looks like 228 agents in here right now. So if you want all of them, I recommend just going to the bottom and hitting load more until everybody's in there that you want. And then you can just hit select all and you can see now I have 228 contacts selected. Or if you wanted to pick and choose between them, you know, you can select and unselect what you want. I believe I'm in here. I might not be tagged as an agent though. Oh, there we go. So we're gonna just send one to myself. Oh, I didn't put a list name in here. So Amy Test. So you gotta put your list name in there. I don't really want it twice, so I'm just gonna put it in the one time. Go ahead and hit confirm. And then you can see now I've made a new list and I've titled my list. And you can see where it's sending from and where the reply goes to, and you have the option to edit that as well. You can put your subject line in. Oops. And then you come down to content. So this is where you can select your templates that you've worked on. So everything you've touched will show up in here. Or if you want one of the KWRI ones, you can actually access those from here as well. Of course, I think it's better to use ones that you guys have already touched and made sure that you like everything in it. So I'm just going to tap on that Happy Thanksgiving one. And it will open up the editor again to give you another opportunity to make any changes if you'd like to. We already have that all set to go, so I'm just going to hit save and exit. And then that should be selected for us. And here you can see it pop up on the right-hand side as a little preview again. You can again send yourself a test email, do a preview through here as well, save it as a draft to come back later, or hit schedule. So you can see schedule email campaigns 30 minutes from now up to 12 months from now. So if you guys really want to, you know, plan out your holiday emails, you could do your Thanksgiving and your Christmas and your New Year's ones right now and set them all up and forget about them, let them run. And then it says you can edit them up to 30 minutes before their scheduled date and time. So you'll always be able to come back in here and make updates as long as it's 30 minutes before they're scheduled to go out. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit schedule. I guess I don't need to. I don't need to email myself that. Let's do send now, and I'll show you how it comes up in my email. So I don't need to schedule it to come to me. We're just going to hit send right now. So if you want to send it right away, you just hit that send button and then send now. And that's how you send them. I see some questions coming up. Heather, great question. As far as I know, right now, templates cannot be shared through command. So like if I make one and somebody really likes it, can I share it with them? I'm sure that is a feature that will come up in the future, just like you can share smart plans. But right now, it's just inside your own account.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. And then I believe that is also something they're working on for Teams. I don't know if anybody asked that, but you should be able to eventually, like if one person on the team makes a template, be able to share it with other people on the team as well. And then Renee said, if you set it up ahead of time, does it automatically add any new contacts with that same tag? I don't think so, Renee. That's a really good question. It might. I haven't, I've wondered that myself. I haven't been able to test it out yet because every time I make a list, by the time I send the email, I haven't added anybody to it. But it is something, I guess you could just make a tag with like 2 people on it, schedule something to send and add a 3rd person just to test it if you wanted to do that. Let's see. I want to make sure I got everybody's questions over here. Got that one. Team, can template, no. All right, I think I answered all the questions then. All right, so
I have a question.
yeah, go for it.
So I know when they come through, there's an unsubscribe button. So like if someone unsubscribes, basically what I've seen in some of the others that I've sent, it looks like it deletes their email completely. Do you know if that like?
It shouldn't be deleting their email. It should just stop them from receiving the campaign.
Okay.
If you're noticing that, I would report that to International because you might want to contact them for something else and still need their email. So it shouldn't be.
Right. Yeah. Well, I noticed it for smart plans I've run from Facebook leads that there's people now that don't have emails, but they're always originally there when I got the lead.
Yeah, I would reach out to support. And for
Okay.
anybody that doesn't know how to do that, if you just tap that question mark in the top right and then do chat with support, you can either queue for a live chat or you can hit get in touch and it will send them an email.
Amy, I had a question about something.
Yeah.
I used to use Market Leader's 8x8 and 36 touch, those type of things. With Market Leader going away, we could set up an 8x8 through this. Is that correct?
You could, and that's where great lead into my next topic.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's perfect. This is an amazing question, and this is the part that I think you guys are really going to see. Like, it's cool. We can send, bulk emails and make stuff that's great. That's an awesome feature. But what's really going to take it to the next level is being able to incorporate these into smart plans. So some of the things that Danny just mentioned is like doing an 8x8 email campaign. So something that's set up automatically with at least 8 touches to go out. And what we've been doing up to this point in smart plans, I'm going to tap on that applet. So we're getting out of the campaigns applet. We're going to go into smart plans. Go ahead and leave. And this will load. Oh, I didn't pull up my email to show you guys how that came through. While that's loading, I'm going to pull up my email as well. Another screen here, and I'll swing it in. Okay. So here are some smart plans, and people, let me just go to the library. So a lot of people have been picking out different smart plans to kind of build their own touches, which is great. And what's even better about the smart plans is that it's not just emails. It can be task reminders to write a thank you card or a birthday card. It can be an automated text message. If you set up Twilio, it can be a reminder to make a phone call. So it's not just your emails. And Danny, right here, you can see there's 8x8 new contact engagement. You can see if I tap on view steps, it will tell me what those steps are. And even give me, oh, that's not really loading in so clearly, but you can see text message, delay, touch, delay, phone call. Here we go, delay. So it looks like this 8x8 is not emails at all. So that one's not gonna be a good one for us to test today, but you can see that it's got all these other tasks so that you reach out to them 8 times. And, oh, I clicked something, you guys. That's all right. Oh, I see it clicked through that there. Let me just refresh this page. I think I clicked too many things. I freaked it out a little bit. I'm running Zoom. I have so many windows open. Oh my gosh. All right. So I'm going to just start a brand new smart plan just because I want to show you how you can embed these emails into any smart plan. So you can do this for a smart plan that's already built, you can start one from scratch. It doesn't matter, the functionality is going to be the same. So let's go to my smart plans and hit create. So again, top right, blue button, create. We're gonna call it holiday test. All right, so if you want to make a smart plan, meaning you're scheduling several things ahead of time that's just emails, you can absolutely do that. So I got my name up there, and I want my first thing to be send an email. Okay, so here's the email. It's getting me ready to prompt me to put whatever I want in there. So up to this point, what we've been able to do is type in here and kind of use these editing functions as needed, and that was it. If you guys look right here and we see email type, we have simple and HTML. So if I now choose HTML, look at that button that pops up, Browse Library for Email Template. So I can go ahead and tap that. And I can go again to my Happy Thanksgiving one and hit next. And then I can set a delay. Oops. There we go. Anybody know how many days Christmas is after Thanksgiving? I guess we can, it's going to be about, what, 30, 29, 28. We're just going to estimate right now. But you could look at a calendar and physically count it out. And then I can hit send email again. And let's say we already did the Christmas email. I could tap HTML here, Browse Library. And we'll just pretend this command on demand is the Christmas one. Hit next. And then that's embedded right in there. So you just have to know how many days are between the two. And it, it doesn't have to go out on Thanksgiving or on Christmas. You could have something, leading up to the holiday. So if you don't want it to be specifically hitting their inbox on Thanksgiving, you don't have to, you get to choose the day you want it to go. So that is how you are able to now do those nice HTML professional looking emails versus just the simple text emails. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't use those simple text ones. Sometimes those are really good because it doesn't look like, like it's coming from Old Navy or something, right? So it looks more personal. So it is still good to keep those in the mix. But if you want to build out some of these templates ahead of time and schedule them, you absolutely can. And going back to what Danny was saying with the 8x8, or you guys were talking about monthly newsletters, if you wanted to build something that was, like a fall tip, a curb appeal tip, winterization, spring cleaning stuff, and build that out ahead of time, you absolutely can. And then you just add them like I don't want to go super into smart plans today, but you just add them just like you would to any other smart plan. And that's how you load them in.
A couple of questions. So you didn't have to enter the subject there because it was already in the one you built, correct?
So no, this is the name we see here is just the name for us. So you can still put whatever subject line you want in here. This, where it's got subject and the asterisk, if I had tried to go forward without this, it would have yelled at me that this was blank.
Okay, so it probably needs to match the one that you've already built, correct?
Yeah, well, you can call it whatever you want. This subject is what the recipient will see in their subject line.
Okay, even though you put a subject in the classic Happy Thanksgiving.
Well, I didn't. Remember, this is just the email template. I did show you how to do a subject line if you were sending it right away or just scheduling one to go out to people. But if you're doing several campaigns, that was a separate part. So let's see if I understand what's going on. Let's see if I can get you guys a little bit of a visual. All right. So inside campaigns, separate from smart plans. So you will either use a smart plan or you will use campaigns. You do not need to use them both for the same email. You're going to choose one or the other. Just depends on your goal and how you want it to go out to people and how often you want to schedule emails. So what Danny was saying was when I hit create new campaign, and oops, I chose the wrong one. And I choose email. Oh, you know what? Let me show you. Let's go into emails. You can see what I already have in here. There. So once you have some stuff scheduled or sent out, they'll all show up. So I hit emails right at the top here. You can see everything that you've ever sent right in this section. So here's the test one that I mailed to myself. And I can click these three little dots and I can duplicate it or preview it. So let's just duplicate the one I already started. And I want to customize it. So I want to change it up a little bit. So this is me in campaigns sending one email one time, no automation. I'm doing it. I'm telling it what to do. So that's where this subject line came into play, the Happy Turkey Day. Now in Smart Plans, that subject line is not linked in here. So you'll have to put in whatever subject line you want. The only thing that's feeding in is the actual body of the email. Does that make sense? Perfect. So I hope that visual helped you guys see the difference in that a little bit. So there's a couple of different ways to send the emails. And then let's see, I'm checking out the chat. Correct. With the unsubscribe, the way it's supposed to function is if they hit unsubscribe, it automatically unsubscribes. You don't have to go in and change anything. The system will track that for you. And is this where we can send mass text messages too? So the text messages are definitely through Smart Plans. So if I'm sorry if I know I kind of jumped around screens a little bit, but yes, Twilio is something you would set up. It is a paid account, and then you can link that to your command account and set up, send out both text messages through the Smart Plans.
I noticed whenever you were back on the email campaign that it did have views, opens, clicks, bounces, and goals. Can you go over that now or at a different time?
Let's go back here. Yep, let's leave. So these have all been test emails really that I've sent. That's why there's no numbers in here, but that's a great point that this dashboard will show you how many people opened your email, how many people clicked on it, how many it went to that it couldn't go anywhere, so it bounced back. And then it tracks your goal of them too. So if you remember, I hit the goal as other. If you chose, advertise a listing, that's what would show up here. Right now, you just get the number. It doesn't let you click into it to see who opened it. That's something I've already requested from KWRI. I highly recommend that everybody go into ideas.kw.com and upvote those ideas. That way you guys can get some more insights. And then you can see, so on here, you can't click in to see who opened it, but when you're in your contacts, you can search by most recent activity of your contacts, and it will show you what that recent activity has been. So I'm in my contact screen, and you can see last visited is one of my filters right here. I'm going to let that load before I click on it. Let's see. I'm on my other screen here to pull up the email test so I can show that to you as well. All right. Ooh. I thought it loaded. Got my hopes up. Okay, so if I tap on last visited, it should put them in order of, this is a demo account, so I'm not sure if there's any actual visits on here. We'll let that load. Come on. There you go. This is my test email while that screen's still loading. So this is the test I sent myself. So you can see how it pulls up in the email. I think you guys all understand how that works. Let's go back. Here we go. So now that my contacts have loaded, I can go ahead and see that I have 4 things that people have visited. So if I go into myself, I can't remember which version of me I sent that to. On the right-hand side of the contact, it's going to tell me anything that this person has done. So if I clicked on an email, if this version of me clicked on the email, it would show up in here that I did. So that is a way you can see who's opening them. You would just go to your contacts and search by recent activity versus that email list that you saw. So you kind of get a big, high level view from the email dashboard, and then you can see more specifics inside each contact. So that's a good question. Let's see, Kinga said the spot for recipient's name will get filled automatically if you send emails in bulk. That is correct. If you're using that merge field, that will fill in, it'll pull in their name. So if for some reason you didn't have the correct name, then the incorrect name would go into the email. But yes, that's how the merge fields are designed. So good question there too. That's pretty much, I think that's like the gist of everything. So you guys, we talked about how you can get into the KWRI templates, how you can edit your own, and there's a couple of ways to get into it. So one was through designs, and one was when you're actually setting up the emails to go out, you had access to the templates through there as well, or to edit them. So that's 2 ways you can access them. And then we talked about how to preview and test them, and you can do that in a couple spots as well. You can do it right from the original template design, or you can do it from the campaign when you're setting it up. You can send yourself a test one there as well. And we talked about sending them in bulk. So that would, sending them in bulk, like if you want to do one message to a bunch of people one time, you want to do that through campaigns for sure. That'll be the easiest way to do it for you. If you are wanting to add it to a smart plan, where there's different intervals in that. So some smart plans, so I made the example of setting up, a Thanksgiving and a Christmas and a New Year's email. Now you could set up 3 separate emails on this screen that we're on right now. Set up one to send, a couple days before Thanksgiving, create a new campaign, set it up to go a couple days before Christmas, so on and so forth. But if you want to set them all up at one time, you could create that inside a smart plan. The other thing you can do is if you are, let's say you're doing an open house follow-up smart plan, and you're probably adding people at different times to that smart plan because you're not doing one open house a year, you're doing them multiple times. So you can build an email inside the template that says, thank you so much for visiting my open house, and make it generic. Just reintroduce yourself and thank them for visiting, and ask them, maybe are there neighborhoods that you're interested in learning out information on their stats, like where are you looking, that type of thing. But something that's basic enough that you don't have to like put the address in every time you send it out. You could add that to your open house smart plan. And then no matter when you add people to it, they'll still receive that email in the allotted time frame that you've set up inside your smart plan. So for example, the one that I have in here, there's a text message that goes out, a delay of a day, a task that says, send an email. Nice to meet you at the open house. Right? So maybe you want to make this automated and make a template with this information. Then you don't have to go in and send them an email. It's going to automatically send it to them. Save you a little bit more time. Isn't that cool?
If they're currently on a smart plan, that will update automatically.
Yeah, so you can't edit smart plans that have people on them. So you can take everybody off and edit it and then add them back on, or you can just create a new smart plan. So you can edit certain things. I don't think that you can add steps. It's been a while since I tried to edit one that already had people on it. So you would be able to edit like this text, but not necessarily delete the whole step or add a delay if it's already running. But if you are starting one from scratch, you would then be able to edit, add that custom email in there. And let's do this. It's going to go to the bottom. So there's the email I just added. There's nobody on this smart plan currently, so let me add that in. And then with the HTML, once it's running, if you update that HTML email, that's just like editing the text in one of these boxes up here. So you should still be able to edit the email template that's loaded in there if you need to make updates to that. Did that help answer that question? Okay, good. Anything else you guys want to know before I let you go for the day? Oh, I thought a new question came in on the chat, but it was one we went over already. Okay, so we went over a lot of stuff. There's definitely a lot you guys can start implementing right now, whether you want to incorporate these into smart plans or you just want to start setting up some bulk emails to go out for, holiday reminders. It's a great time of year to start doing that. Like I said, next week at 1 o'clock next Wednesday, we'll be doing specific Q&A. So go ahead and play around with these templates and then bring your questions back. And you might find things as you're testing them out that you've got other questions that have come up. So bring your questions back next week and we'll go in depth. I'm sure we'll do a little review of some of the stuff we've already covered, but any of those little things that pop up that you're like, oh, I ran into this and I'm not really sure how to proceed, we'll go over that there as well. Sound good? All right, see lots of nods, perfect. Then I will continue to get, send out email reminders to everybody. I'll post them on our Facebook pages as well. And you can always find the links to the classes on e2psuccess.com just by scrolling down on that main page there. And then I'm always taking ideas for other classes. So if you guys have questions, feel free to email me or let your Market Center leadership know and they'll let me know as well. Thank you guys for coming. I'll see you next week.
Thank you, Amy.
My pleasure.